Beginning. The night the rescue ship fell. The distress beacon wasn't meant for us. That was the first thing Captain Imanijo said when the signal crackled through the Arden Dawn's comms. Short, irregular bursts from the dark edge of the Helios expanse, a region most charts labeled unstable and most captains avoided entirely. But distress beacons had a way of finding people who couldn't ignore them. I was a systems engineer, not a hero. My job was to keep the ship alive, not to risk it. Still, when the captain asked for volunteers to investigate, my hand went up before my brain finished objecting. We found the wreck drifting between stars, an alien craft, its hull fractured like cracked obsidian, leaking faint violet light. No power. No weapon signatures. No signs of life. At least, not until the scanners flickered. "There's one survivor," I said quietly. The captain hesitated only a moment. "Bring them aboard." That decision changed everything. The woman who wouldn't let go. We found her in a collapsed compartment, pinned beneath a fallen strut. She looked humanoid at first glance, tall, pale, with long dark hair floating weightlessly around her. Her eyes were closed, her skin cold enough to fog my visor. "She's alive," I said, surprised. "Barely." The moment we freed her, she grabbed me. Her fingers were icy, unnaturally strong, clinging to my suit like I was the only solid thing in the universe. I nearly lost my balance. "It's okay," I said, though I wasn't sure who I was reassuring. "You're safe." Her eyes opened. They were not human. They glowed faintly, a deep crimson threaded with silver. And when she looked at me, something passed between us, like static, like pressure, like the echo of a heartbeat that wasn't mine.
She didn't speak.
She only held on tighter. Back aboard the Arden Dawn, medical scans confused everyone. Her biology didn't match any known species. Her cells showed extreme energy depletion, as if she'd been starving, not for food, but for something else. "She's draining ambient power," the medic whispered. "Not dangerously, but deliberately. And somehow, she only stabilized when I was near. Middle, the one called Nasara. She woke 3 days later. I was in the medbay alone, recalibrating sensors, when her voice filled the room, soft, melodic, carrying an accent that didn't belong to any star map. "You should not be here." I turned. She was sitting up, eyes sharp now, alert. "I could say the same," I replied. "You scared the life out of us." Her gaze lingered on me, and I felt that same strange pressure again, not painful, just intimate. "My name is Nasara," she said, "and I am the reason your crew is in danger." That got my attention. She told me her people were called the Varethi, an ancient species evolved around energy, not flesh. They did not consume blood or bodies, despite the myths other civilizations whispered about them. They fed on life force resonance, the subtle bioelectric patterns generated by living beings. Most species felt nothing when a Varethi fed. Humans, apparently, were different. "Our resonance is intense," Nasara explained. "Chaotic. Powerful. To us, it is intoxicating." I crossed my arms. "So you're saying you're a vampire?" Her lips curved into something like a smile. "If that word helps you understand, then yes. But I do not feed without consent." I thought of her grip on my suit, the way she'd held onto me, like letting go meant death. "You didn't exactly ask," I said. Her expression darkened. "I was dying. The bond that shouldn't exist." Nasara's ship had been attacked by something she wouldn't name, hunters who tracked Varethi vessels and harvested their cores like trophies. She had escaped, but at a cost. By the time we found her, her energy reserves were gone. Human proximity stabilized her because our biofields replenished what she lost. Especially mine. "We're compatible," she said carefully. Dangerously so. I should have backed away, told the captain. Let the experts decide. Instead, I stayed. The more time we spent together, the stronger the connection became. Not romantic, not at first, but deeply personal. She learned human expressions with startling speed. I learned that Varethi emotions ran deeper than ours, amplified by the energy they absorbed. When she fed, only briefly, only with my permission, I felt warmer, clearer, like my thoughts aligned instead of scattered. But there was a cost. Each time, she pulled back sooner, guilt shadowing her eyes. You will weaken, she said one night, and I will not allow that. I'm fine, I insisted. You barely take anything. That is why it is dangerous, she replied. If I take too much, I could kill you. If I take too little, I will die. The balance was impossible. The truth she hid. The hunters found us. Their ship tore out of hyperspace like a wound in reality, weapons charging before we could react. The Arden Dawn shuddered under the first strike. Nisara grabbed my arm. They are here for me, she said. And for you, if they learn what you are to me. What I am? I asked. She hesitated. You are bound to me now, she said quietly. Our energies have begun to synchronize. If I die, the backlash could kill you. I felt cold settle in my chest. You knew this. Yes, she admitted. And I am sorry. The captain ordered evacuation procedures. There was no way our ship could outrun the hunters. Nisara made her choice. I will surrender, she said. They will leave you alone. I shook my head. They won't. She reached for me again, hands trembling. If I stay, you will die with me. Then don't die, I said. She stared at me, stunned. You do not understand what you are asking. Then explain, I said. No more secrets. The secret that changed everything Nisara's people had one forbidden ability, something even other Varethi feared. They could merge, not physically, but energetically. Two beings, their life force intertwined, sharing strength, resilience, and pain. It was irreversible. It erased the boundary between self and other. It has ended civilizations, she said. Because love in my species is not metaphor. It is fusion. I swallowed. And humans. No Varethi has ever bonded with a human, she said. Your energy is too volatile. The result is unknown. The hunters' weapons charged again. The ship trembled. Nisara looked at me, not with hunger, not with fear, but with something raw and unguarded. If I hold on to you, she said, there will be no turning back. I took her hand. Then don't let go. The process wasn't violent. It was quiet. Light spilled from Nisara's skin, wrapping around us like a cocoon. I felt heat, pressure, then an overwhelming sense of presence, her thoughts brushing against mine. Not intrusive, just there. The hunters fired. And their weapons failed. The merged field around us destabilized their targeting systems, feeding back their own energy in a surge they couldn't control. Their ship retreated, systems collapsing under the strain. Silence followed. When the light faded, I was still me, and Nisara was still her. But something fundamental had changed. I could feel her heartbeat, not in my chest, but alongside it.
Steady. Alive.
Ending. What we became the Arden Dawn survived, barely. The crew never fully understood what happened, only that the hunters fled and Nisara was no longer weakening. Neither was I. Medical scans showed our biofields resonating in perfect harmony, stronger together than apart. Nisara stood beside me at the viewport as we prepared to part ways. Her people had responded to the distress, arriving too late to help, but soon enough to witness the aftermath. You saved me, she said softly. We saved each other, I replied. She nodded. My people will fear what we are. Mine already do, I said with a faint smile. She reached for my hand, not desperately now, not in fear, but with certainty. I held on to you because I was dying, she said. I did not expect to find a reason to live. I squeezed her fingers. Neither did I. As her ship departed, I felt the connection stretch, but not break. Somewhere between the stars, a new truth existed. That humans were not prey. That vampires were not monsters. And that sometimes holding on to someone wasn't about survival, it was about becoming something stronger than either of you could be alone.